Yeah. Hey everybody, it's me, Charlotte
I
360.
hate you. Not you. You did this. I'm kidding.
Okay. See how I get abused in my own household? Do you see how I get abused in my own household? Totally unprompted. Abuse. Abuse on the regular. Hey everybody, it's me, Charlotte 360. How are you doing? So today I have a little mail and just, various talking points. So I've got this mail here. This is a package from Music Plaza over the American Thanksgiving weekend. They had a sale, and it was like a Cyber Monday, Black Friday sale. And the whole sale was, if you order at least $50 worth of stuff from us, then you get a free photo card. So, and a free official photo card, not a fake one. So I decided to do it because I love a free something or other. I really wish it would have been a free album, but I'll take a free photo card. I'll take it. And so this is what I got. I got this, which is the hey, how's it going? This is the Sulgi luggage tag from the Reva Festival.
She looks so good.
I know she does, doesn't she? But this is an official card. So this is what I got for ordering stuff from the Black Friday sale at Music Plaza. I didn't order a lot. I actually only ordered two things. One thing that I already had, and then one thing that I'd been meaning to get, but I had been putting it off because I don't know, I wasn't sure. So the thing that I ordered that I already had was this. I ordered another copy of Keys Bad Love. I ordered the kind of jewel casey sized one. I ordered another copy because when I did my initial unboxing, I told you guys that I was not going to open the one that I got because I needed another one because I was afraid of opening the packaging. And so I ordered another one and I opened it, and I opened it super rough. Like, oh my gosh, I opened it so rough. But that's okay because this arrived bent. Like, look at this corner, how it's bent here, and then this was all bent here. So actually, I don't feel bad that I opened this. But yeah, I opened this, and I'm glad that I didn't open my other one because this one ended up more damaged, obviously. But also, I got a chance to look at the photo card for this album because I had not looked at the photo card for this version of the album because I knew I was eventually going to get a copy that I could open. So, opening this up, I have this card, which is really cute. I like this card a lot. That's the back. And I know it's kind of fuzzy because it's not focusing. And then it has this little postcard that came with it. So this is the postcard that came with that version. And then that's the back of it. And it had a lyrics poster, which there's really nothing to see. And then just this really small kind of handheld photo book. And a lot of the photos here are very similar to every other version of this album. Like, you're not going to see brand new pictures here. We're familiar with all these pictures. However, I still wanted to open a copy, and so I bought a second copy. That way I can open a copy. So yeah, there's that. Also, I didn't read the lyrics poster on the copies that I got the last time. I was kind of going through them fairly quickly, and so I read some of the lyrics poster this time around, and I didn't realize that Key was working with Junie quite a bit. Junie is a KR&B artist, but he also does a lot of songwriting and a lot of background singing for SM. And Junie is like all over this album, which I did not realize. So that was pretty interesting, pretty exciting. But yeah, I bought another copy of this. It wasn't very expensive, and this version is not sold out, which I'm surprised. For some reason, I thought that because of the way this is packaged, that this version would be sold out. Still very much available. So if you don't have a copy, go get you one. And then the other album that I bought was aespa's Savage. Okay, I don't think that I've talked about it on this channel, but you know what? There's no day like today. I don't really care for this mini album. I'm just going to be super honest with you. I just don't really care for this mini album. I think that the cover art is... I like the kind of mirror finish of it, but outside of that, I'm not a fan of this kind of like heavy metal aesthetic. This is the back. It's all right. It's all right. But audio wise, I'm not a big fan of these songs. I'm sorry. I know. And you'd think I would be because I'm a big SM fan, number one. And number two, I like girl groups. I really do. I don't talk about girl groups that often, but I really like girl groups. Um, I didn't think Next Level was a bad song, but I wasn't as obsessed with Next Level as a lot of people were. So maybe that's part of it. Um, I just think I need to get used to them. And that's okay because if anybody has been following my channel for a really long time, you know that I wasn't the biggest Red Velvet fan when they first debuted. I still refer to their debut song as Hot Penis. So, yeah.
I know, but it still catches me off guard every time you say it.
Yeah, so like I it took me a while to warm up to Red Velvet. Now, decidedly, I warmed up to them by the time they had a print album, but it just took me a minute to get into it. And I think that the same is going to happen with me and aespa, that like I'm just not into it right now, but I'm going to get into it because that seems to be the way things are happening for me with SM groups. They're new groups because like NCT was another one. Didn't really get it from the beginning. Still don't get the whole NCT Dream thing. But Favorite is one of my favorite albums of the year. And so I got into them eventually. And I think that's what's going to happen here. So I wanted to go ahead and get at least one copy so that if I change my mind later on, I don't have to go try to find a copy that's out of print. Because if you've been a fan of SM for any amount of time, you know that SM's albums go out of print really, really fast. Like they're usually, you're able to find them for maybe 6 months, 7 months. And then after a year, they're gone. So I just wanted to make sure I had it in case I change my mind. And you know, if I don't change my mind and I just really decide that they're not for me, I can always sell it. However, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of this album, I can appreciate the talents of the girls in the group. More importantly, Ning Ning is such a baby. She's such a baby. I love her. And so, yeah, I wanted to get this. And since Ning Ning is my bias, you can imagine how excited I was when I opened this bitch up and it turns out that I got 2 Ning Ning photo cards. I'm going to show them to you now. I actually haven't opened up this whole thing to look at the pages. I literally just opened it up so I could see the photo cards. But I'll show you the photo cards I got. So this is the first photo card I got. Cute. It's so adorable. It's such a cute card. Okay, and then the second card. Where did it go? Where did it go? Come out, wherever you are. I put them back in here, and now I think it got stuck. Maybe it got stuck. Hold up. It's the holographic card that I'm going to pull out of here. Where are you? Oh, yeah, it got stuck in the corner. This is the holographic card I got. So, see, I got double Ning Nings. I love it. I think it's adorable. I think she's cute. I like her voice. So, yeah. Can't say I'm a fan of this aesthetic. I'm still not super psyched to open this thing up. But I am glad I got the Ning Ning cards. I'm glad I have a copy in case I change my mind. And I'm hoping that eventually the music will grow on me. I know it's not their job to conform to what I want because I'm an older demographic. And I know this. I want to be very clear about that because I think sometimes people believe that when a person says that the music's not for them, that we say that with the expectation that they need to change their music to suit our preferences. That's not the case. I'm not saying that they need to change their music in order for me to like them. I don't count. I really don't count. You know who counts? All the people who loved Next Level. All the people who loved Black Mamba. Those are the people who count, not me. But I still want to support. Thank you, dear 10. How are you? I still watch your videos. I just don't comment very often. But I still watch your videos all the time. So anyway, yeah. Even though this is not for me, I'm still going to be checking for aespa. I'm still going to be wanting to see what they're up to. I'm still going to be interested in their movements because in my opinion, SM, they get the job done. Even though it may take a minute to get into it, SM does eventually get the job done. And I don't know, I'm just really interested to see what's going to happen with them. So let's talk about music that's coming up. We have an NCT album that is coming up, Universe. Have you guys bought your copies yet? I haven't. I think I might order a copy this weekend. NCT is a group that I don't think I have a bias for. Even though I like a lot of people's voices, I don't really keep up with the personalities of the members of the group. And because of that, I don't have a real bias. Like when NCT first came out, I thought that maybe Mark was my bias, even though, to be fair, all the members of NCT are so much younger than me that like it feels weird to have a bias in that group anyway. But yeah, looking at the group, I don't have a particular bias. And right now that album is like, I think there's like a regular version and there is the jewel cases, and it's member jewel cases. It's over 20 jewel cases. Ah! So because of that, I agree with you, 10. I'm going to buy a copy at Target, like the main copy at Target. But for the jewel case, I don't know who to get. I literally don't. I thought maybe I should go for Taeil because I really like his voice. I thought about getting Mark because Mark was my original bias for the group. I thought that maybe I would go for a different member just to try something new. Like I thought maybe Yuta would be a good choice. But yeah, I have no clue. I have no clue. I just want to get one jewel case. I don't need 5. I just want one. I even thought maybe like getting Taeyong, that way if like later on down the road I needed to get rid of the jewel case, he's one that's like super collectible. But yeah, I'm just like I don't know. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But hopefully I will make up my mind before all the jewel cases sell out, because that's the thing. Because they're doing jewel cases for every single member, the most popular members are going to sell out. So I don't have that much time to make up my mind about what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's still up in the air. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Also, ATEEZ has a release. So those are 3 albums to buy. I feel like ATEEZ has released 1,000 projects this year. It's been madness. Ever since Kingdom, I feel like ATEEZ has been running the album industry. Like they've just been constantly releasing stuff. And so catching up with them is very difficult. But yeah, I have ATEEZ to buy. So ATEEZ, NCT. I haven't bought Wasa's project. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to, but Wasa's project was something I was thinking about buying. I still need to buy a copy of Lisa's single. I didn't buy Lisa's single when it first came out because I didn't think I was going to like it, because the last Blackpink thing I bought at all was the album at Target. So I was like, okay, I think I'm good on Blackpink. But baby, Money has been in my head ever since, like right before the performance video came out. Money is that girl. That's such a great song. And so me too. I need to get Lisa's album. In fact, actually, I was going to buy Lisa's album from Music Plaza. They were sold out. I wanted the gold version. They were completely sold out. So I have to find where to buy it at. I thought about getting it used. I went on Mercari US to see what the prices were like. The girls want way too much money for used albums. It's ridiculous. Like people are asking for $26 for a used album. I don't think so. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I need to get Lisa single because I actually really like Money quite a bit. I want to support. So I need to get Lisa's single album. I need to catch up for ATEEZ. I need to get NCT. So those are the ones that are on my list so far. Money is so relatable. Expect I'm not making that much money. I think the thing that gets me about Money is because I am a huge fan of like strip club music. Like, I am that girl that in my head, I'm a stripper named Diamond and I work down at the Players Club. And so songs like Money always capture my attention because it fulfills kind of like a mental fantasy of mine. Like, dollar bills, dollar bills. I love that so much. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, those are things that I want to get that I haven't gotten yet. And that's really all that's on my mind. I haven't thought about much else K-pop wise that I want to buy. We did my Secret Santa with me and my little friend group, and I got Fama's Don't Die Colors. So that's the latest kind of K indie thing that I purchased recently. But other than that, like, yeah, there just hasn't been a lot of music that stood out in my mind that I really wanted. I think I'm just going through a dry phase right now, and that happens to me sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll have a year that like I buy more music than I ever intend to buy. 2020. And then I have other years where like I'm kind of light on what I buy. And this last few months, I would say, things have been pretty light. They've been on the light side. So I'm looking forward to kind of picking things back up and getting a little bit more invested in music because I haven't been in a minute. But since I've kind of finished my album talk, let's talk about a couple of things, just, housekeeping purposes. Today, technically yesterday, but also technically today, is Minho's birthday. So I'm wearing my little shirt that I wore the first time I saw SHINee in person back in 2016. And I've got my little SHINee tattoo going on here. Minho's birthday. Minho's in his 30s, practically. So it's just my babies. My babies are all growing up. I'm so proud of Minho. This year since he's been home, he has done SHINee projects, he's done acting, he played a gay man in Yumi's Cell, so congrats to him for being an advocate, being an ally. He has his Best Choice podcast vlog thing that he's doing. Great for him. He's got another acting project on the way. And just overall, he continues to be that dude. He continues to be somebody that I'm always proud of. He continues to be somebody who's still a stand-up person. He's just still my Choi Min-ho. Like, he's my baby. He's always been my baby. He's always been my SHINee bias. I love him to bits and pieces. I thought it was adorable that Key posted a selfie of the two of them together, and he said, "Happy birthday." And Minho replied, "Thanks, my love, heart, heart, heart." Because if anybody knows me, you know I'm a huge Minky shipper. Like, that is my ship. Like, if we're gonna talk about shipping, Minky is my ship. And so, yeah, today was a good day for me. Oh, let's talk about other good news. Taeyong and his wife had their baby. They had their baby a couple of days ago. So congratulations to them. From eyes, nose, lips to a baby on your hip. That's amazing. I'm really happy for them. And Bobby had his baby like, a month ago, I think. So yeah, we got YG babies going on in the house. That's really super exciting. But I'm just so happy for everybody having good news in their life. This has been such a stressful year, such a stressful couple of years, and I'm just happy that people are finding little ways to take part in joy, because it's been rough in these streets. It's been super duper rough. So yeah, I think that's all of the kind of housekeeping I have. If you guys have any questions for me about anything else, let me know, but there hasn't been much to talk about. I didn't talk about BTS's anything while they've been here in the States because I haven't had anything to say about it. Like, they had concerts, but I wasn't there, so whatever. They performed at the Kiss Jingle Ball, I think is what it's called. Good for them. RM decided to go on like an art tour of the United States, and he went to Marfa. I just don't understand why. I lived in Texas for so many years, and in the years that I lived in Texas, BTS never touched Texas. The minute I leave is when they decide Texas is their new best friend. I don't understand it. Don't know why you're doing this to me, but yeah, Marfa, I used to live like a few hundred miles away from Marfa, which I know does not sound close, but if you're familiar with the layout of Texas, like geography, that's actually fairly close. And yeah, had no clue that a time would ever come where RM from BTS would be in Marfa. Anyway, yeah, all of BTS has their own Instagram accounts. I have a conspiracy theory about that. Do you want to hear it? If you want to hear it, give me the thumbs up, say yes, whatever. I'll tell you about it. But I don't want to say it out loud just in case, like, this is stuff that I need to keep to myself. Like, well, what's going to happen to me? I'm not going to get in trouble for saying anything because it's just a theory, a conspiracy theory. It doesn't mean it's fact, doesn't mean it's true. Okay, since Anthony wants to hear it, here it goes. I think the reason why all of BTS has their own individual Instagram accounts right at this very moment is because they're being sponsored by Meta, which is the company that Facebook changed their name to. So Facebook used to be the Facebook company. Now they're called Meta. And if you paid any attention to tech news, just even regular news, then you know that Facebook has been trying to figure out for the last, 5 or 6 years how to get young people invested in the platform, because young people don't want to be on Facebook, but young people still use Instagram. And so I think that what happened is that Twitter, being kind of the toxic environment it is, that they made a deal with Big Hit saying, I know you're not using Twitter like you used to. You kind of use Weverse for that aspect. But if you're looking for a photo platform or maybe to have more of a one-sided source of communication with fans, let us pay you to have Instagram accounts and post to personal Instagrams. And I think that's the reason why all of a sudden every single member of BTS has personal Instagrams at the same time. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong or if you think I'm right, but I just really think that there is an under the table deal where the Meta Corporation is paying them to have individual Instagrams. Also because Seoul is officially the first city in the world to become part of the metaverse. That was announced before the members of BTS announced that they had individual Instagram accounts. So like I said, it's a K-pop conspiracy theory, but I think that they've been paid to kind of be ambassadors for Meta and trying to get young people to be more invested in Instagram. And what's wrong?
I'm not crying. I'm just thinking, why?
Okay.
Dad!
Things are really weird in my household. Don't pay us any mind. But yeah, I think that they're being paid. I don't think that they had any intention of having their own Instagram accounts till now. And I wouldn't be surprised if their contract is like a 6-month contract. And over the next 6 months, they're going to be uploading very regularly to their Instagram accounts. And then all of a sudden it's going to drop off steeply. And it's going to be kind of the same way that they post to Twitter. So check me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. So anyway, that was my one little conspiracy theory, my one little obligatory let's talk about BTS moment in my live streams. Trying to think, is there anything else that I wanted to talk about? Just like news stuff, but I don't think you guys want to hear about that. Jussie Smollett, who a couple of years ago said that he was attacked by racists while trying to go to Subway at 2 a.m. in the middle of a blizzard. He was found guilty of falsifying a police report. Don't know what that's going to mean in terms of jail time for him, but that was unfortunate. Also, Josh Duggar from the Duggar family, that like super big family of fundamentalist Christians, he got found guilty for possession of child pornography. He's probably gonna do a lot of time in jail because he's a nasty pervert and it serves him right. And that's really all I can think of. Okay, what is the SM Town thing that was recently released? Okay, SM Town, they haven't released it yet, but it's gone for pre-order today. SM Town is putting out a winter album. And for those of you who've never heard of the winter album, it might be because you've only been fans for a couple of years. Don't worry about it. You're not missing much. SM used to make winter albums. And the winter albums would be basically like a compilation album where every artist on SM Town would put in one song. So like TVXQ had a song, BoA had a song, Super Junior had a song, Girls' Generation had a song, SHINee did a cover of Last Christmas, They haven't done a winter album since I want to say 2011 was the last winter album, but I could be wrong. Anyway, they're doing another winter album. So you can pre-order it starting today, but it's not going to come out, I think, for a couple of weeks. Also, SM says they're going to do another New Year's concert. So that's exciting because they did a New Year's concert last year and it was so much fun. Did you guys watch the SM New Year's concert last year? Because me and my friends did, and we had a ball. It was so much fun. Like, we were on Twitter talking to each other about it and talking about the performances, and it was so much fun too because that was when they announced that SHINee was going to have a comeback. And it was also a lot of fun because that was also when we got to see Wendy back for the first time to performing after she had her horrific fall at that end of the year rehearsal. So yeah, that was exciting. Why of all the things they're bringing back do they need money that bad? I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? SM is making a lot more money off of NCT now than they ever have before. Let's be very honest. Their idea of putting together Super M actually paid off really well for them. Okay, I can already hear people saying, "What? Super M? What are you talking about?" Yes, Super M was a very convoluted project. Yes, Super M literally was just like a little bit of a publicity machine, a way for Lee Soo-man to pat himself on the back and try to make himself feel like he's a big part of the US K-pop scene, even though Super M very much operated in a niche market. However, there are a lot of people who were fans of EXO and fans of SHINee who still refuse to give NCT any attention, and Super M really forced those fans to become invested in the rest of Super M. And when EXO quit releasing stuff as often, SHINee wasn't releasing stuff as often. They're like, oh, NCT's putting out an album every 15 seconds. Why don't I check them out? And so Super M really and truly led to NCT kind of hyping up their profile, kind of making it to where they became more of an entity. And everything they've been doing so far, they've been selling super well. NCT has been selling a ton of albums. And because they've been selling so many albums, SM's actually doing a lot better with NCT than they ever were when they started with that group. So because of that, I don't think that necessarily it's that SM is hurting for money. I think more than that is that SM is trying to find a way to increase the look of their entire portfolio. So while NCT has been pretty successful, I would say the last 2 years, NCT has been pretty successful. A lot of the acts on the label that have been there for a while, their profile has diminished for a myriad of different reasons. Super Junior, a lot of their profile has diminished because they have a lot of members who either don't promote with the group anymore, aren't allowed to promote with the group anymore because of fan sentiment. And so they're kind of dying off in terms of them being huge money makers for the label. Then you have TVXQ. I didn't talk about it that much on my channel because I'm not the biggest TVXQ fan, but had some scandals last year involving him and an actress and allegations of being kind of like, for lack of a better term, pussy whipped. And he just had some scandals. And so TVXQ's profile has kind of gone down a little bit in recent years. SHINee is popular enough, but SHINee never has really been kind of the figurehead group of SM. SHINee's kind of like the hometown team and sort of like, they might not win the championship, but everybody at home loves them. That's SHINee. And so SHINee does okay for SHINee, but SHINee has never been the biggest money makers for SM, whereas Red Velvet probably has been one of the more high profile acts on the label. They haven't been able to promote the way that they used to because number one, they're kind of getting long in the tooth for being a girl group. And number two, Wendy was sidelined for a fair part of last year. And even though they came back with Queendom, I think that Wendy told him, like, you're not going to push me to be as active as I used to be because I just don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, I think with SM, they're like, okay, we have two really popular groups so far. We have aespa, who are super popular in Korea because people love Next Level. Then we have NCT, who is garnering a little more international publicity. They're selling huge quantities of albums both in the States and in Korea. So, what can we do to kind of utilize the press of an NCT and the press of an aespa and then bring up everybody else? I know, let's do a collaboration album where there's some NCT songs on there, so people who collect NCT will want to buy this album. Plus, we'll have our other artists who people don't really pay as much attention to be on this project, so people might hear them be like, oh, I really like this person. Maybe I'll check out their other stuff. So, in terms of SM being desperate for money, it's not necessarily a desperate for money type of thing. I really think it's more like they have a lot more aged acts on the label than what Isuman and the board are comfortable with. And, on the one hand, that sucks because new groups bring in more money than old groups at a certain point. But it's also kind of cool when you think about it because if you compare the age of groups on SM to JYP to YG, SM has one of the oldest rosters in all of K-pop. Like they've got Super Junior who are coming on 14, almost 15 years, maybe already 15 years. TVXQ who's been around for forever. Like seriously, like SHINee has been around for 13 years. 13 years. And they're not even the oldest group on SM. So SM really does have like some people on their label that have been there forever. I think the oldest people on YG's roster would be Big Bang. And then like JYP, they don't have super old groups on their label either because GOT7 is gone, Miss A is gone. I think the oldest group on JYP is maybe Day6, maybe 16 years for Super Junior and 18 years for TVXQ. Boa's been on the label for what, 20 years already? More than 20 years? Yeah, like SM has a really old roster. Can we talk about YG? What have they been doing lately? Okay, what happened at 2PM? 2PM, the group is still technically signed to JYP, but every member of 2PM is signed to a different label. So, yeah, 2PM had a comeback in 2021, and the name 2PM is on JYP, but everyone in 2PM is somewhere else. So, yeah, that's a thing. But like when it comes to SM acts, they are completely signed to SM. Like Boa is still with SM for everything, acting, singing, all the stuff. So, yeah, when you think about it, SM has a really deep, old roster. And because of that, I could see why they would want to do more collaborations between their youngest groups and their oldest groups, because their oldest groups at this point, they're more like, how do I put this? If you think about movies, for instance, it's like putting Zendaya in a movie with Michael Keaton. More young people are going to come to the movie to see Zendaya, but they're going to appreciate Michael Keaton's acting skills, even though he's been an actor since the 80s. So he's not the main draw, but having them together might make some young people want to know more about that old guy in the movie. So yeah, that's what I look at it as. That's what I see it as, is that it's just more like kind of bringing in new eyes to the fold. But that's the way it's always been. You've always had groups introducing younger acts and then younger acts collaborating with older groups. That's always been the way this thing was. Also, somebody asked what happened to YG. I saw that earlier. Can we talk about YG? What have they been doing lately? I've been waiting for Treasure to come back for a while. I still don't understand how they promote their groups. Oh my God. You mentioned Treasure, and I completely fucking forgot about Treasure. So I will give you my theory about what's happening with YG. I'm certain I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna put it out there anyway because we're shooting the shit right now. Nothing I'm saying is a fact. I think right now YG is still trying to decide what the next step is for the label, and they're purposefully trying to tank certain groups in order to justify bringing Papa YG back into the boardroom and back into prominence on the label. So I said it before and I'll say it again. YG, Papa YG, even though I need to quit using that name because that name has a lot of kind of like pedophilic connotations to it when you think about like what caused him to decide that his wife was going to be his wife. You've heard that story before. YG has always made the label about him. How the label's called YG. But YG, he always made it seem like the reason why every act on his label did so well is because he is a genius. He can spot talent from a mile away. He's got the most discerning taste. He is the everything. And so because of that, if something weird happened, like if an artist didn't promote for a long time, he would always make it seem like, well, we do things a little bit different around here. We're not about numbers, we're about art and yada, yada, yada. When really it was just him trying to find a way to make his own individual profile the most important profile on the label. When all the shit started going down with Sungri and then also with BI, YG tried very hard to find a way to either protect them because he felt like their failures were reflecting bad on him, or to protect himself, even though he knew he was just as guilty of doing dirt as everybody else on the label was. Well, then he got caught up with his own court case, him and his fucking ugly ass brother. And when that happened, of course, people who are shareholders in YG were like, we'd like you guys to back off. We have to pay back this huge loan to Louis Vuitton Hennessy Moet. You guys are bringing bad publicity. Artists that you personally cultivated are bringing bad publicity to the label. We'd like you to step away. Well, YG could not stand for anybody to be super successful on those labels while he wasn't there. He was not going to let that happen. So there are people on YG, the label, who are still super duper loyal to Sir YG. And because of that, they are basically trying to make it seem like, oh, well, the company is just really invested in putting out the best project at the right time. And that's the reason why we're not putting out project after project after project after project. But the fact of the matter is, they're hoping that they can work on a redemption program for the senior YG. And then once he's back in command, you'll see everything move at lightning speed once he gets back. Like he's probably still in certain rooms telling people what stuff is going to happen. And I think that's the reason why he's just such a fucking anime villain, because the stuff that he does is the shit that is all undercover. It's all about manipulating people's minds. It's all about people's perceptions. It's not even that he's doing the bad things himself and getting his hand dirty. It's the way that he manipulates everybody else around him to get their hands dirty. Again, all this is allegations, not facts, just my personal opinion, not facts. But I really do think that like with Treasure was a project that he had a big hand in initially. And then once he pulled out of it, he's been real stingy about letting that thing get off the ground because he can't stand to see something that had his name written all over it be successful without him being the face of that success. That's how I legitimately feel. Also, I think that Hybe, I'm trying to say their new name. I'm trying not to say Big Hit anymore. I think that Hybe's investment in the YG acting portfolio and the YG album distribution side of things was them starting to be the elder YG's escape hatch. So, depending on how things shake out in court, if YG gets convicted of the overseas gambling charges, and if tax evasion gets put on the docket, and a few other things get brought to the forefront, YG might be a narcissist, but he's nobody's fool, and he will pull out. But he's not going to pull out for nothing. He's going to pull out for the highest dollar amount. And I really do think that at the time that Hybe made their big investment in the YG acting portfolio, it's because they were letting YG know that they were very serious about putting money behind acquiring YG, the music label. Not only that, but the reason why they were serious in putting that money down is because they want Blackpink. Hybe wants Blackpink. Hybe has a very specific goal in mind, and their specific goal is to be what people think of when they think of K-pop. They don't want any successful group in K-pop to not belong to them. They only put an offer to Pledis, to purchase Pledis, because they wanted 17. They only offered to buy GFriend's label because they wanted GFriend. Hybe has a very specific idea in mind of what they see their future as being. They couldn't buy JYP, but I am certain that there were talks behind the scene of Hybe offering to purchase JYP. But JYP says, no, my name is on the building. I still think I can do some things. I've still got Twice. I've still got Stray Kids. I think I'm okay with keeping my label. YG, on the other hand, Blackpink is literally the only group that rivals BTS in terms of international notoriety, international visibility. Hybe is foaming at the mouth to own Blackpink. And Hybe probably already knows what they want to do with Blackpink if they owned Blackpink. They probably already have 1,000 ideas of how they would market them girls. And so them buying into the publishing and printing aspect of YG and the acting part of YG is really them saying to YG Senior, if things get too tough, if you can't come back to the boardroom, we're willing to buy your biggest asset. And just to show you we mean business, we'll just take a little bit of this chump change stuff you got over here. So that's what I see happening. I don't know when it'll happen. We still got to get YG's trial knocked out the way, but Big Bang's never coming back. I don't know. I hope you guys don't believe that that's ever going to happen. Big Bang's never coming back. G-Dragon might decide to do a little something here and there, but Big Bang's never coming back. And so with Big Bang never coming back, Blackpink is it. Because let's be very clear about something. Somi is forgettable. I know, I'm being so mean. I'm so sorry. Somi, you as a person, you're probably a really nice person. Your music is forgettable, girl. Your music is forgettable. Your videos are forgettable. Your image as an artist is so incredibly generic that it almost feels like they sabotaged you, girl. And because of that, Blackpink really is the main thing that's going on at YG. People like Treasure a lot, but Treasure ain't pushing weight like Blackpink is. Treasure doesn't have the visibility that Blackpink does. I don't think there's anything that YG can do that can rival the visibility of Blackpink. Yet and still, they continue to do things so bad with Blackpink. Like they continue to throw away all the potential that Blackpink has on a regular basis. But yeah, like, we'll see what happens. I'm going to address a couple of comments here because I thought they were good ones. Jordan says, too bad JYP can't get anyone to stick around. As soon as those contracts are up, I already know those groups are done. And then Dear 10 says, I'm still not over GOT7, but I'm happy to see them all doing the things they love. I'm glad to see that GOT7 is still doing the stuff they want to do as well. JYP, I think that the reason why people are leaving JYP is because JYP is a huge micromanager, and he's also somebody that you can't talk to. Like in the beginning, the artists that were with JYP 20 years ago, like if you talk to Rain, if you talk to God, if you talk to like certain members of Miss A, certain members of Miss A, certain members of 2PM, they'll tell you JYP was a good friend to them and a great mentor to them. Once JYP got the money from Rain, from God, Wonder Girls, once JYP started pulling in that money, JYP became a corporation. Initially, it was like a music label. It soon became a corporation. And when it became a corporation, JYP, the man, kind of got further and further removed from the artists, and the whole JYP family collective thing kind of started to break down. And the people that JYP has doing his day-to-day business for the label, they are people who are fucking it up for him. Like they are mismanaging things for their artists left and right. Every once in a while, they have a good idea and they'll fucking follow it up with 15 bad ones. And they have been slowly but surely killing that label. Stray Kids, I don't know how he's doing things different, that Stray Kids is continuing to be able to grow their popularity, but he totally screwed the pooch on GOT7. He totally screwed the pooch on Miss A. He is starting to screw the pooch on Twice, which is crazy because I feel like Twice at this point in their career are giving us some of their most cohesive and best full projects, but I just feel like they aren't really listening and cultivating what made Twice pop in the first place, because they don't want to pay, because they're thinking these girls might leave soon anyway. So why should we pay outside songwriters to do big things for them? Why should we do huge things for them when they just make money? Like doing that English single, they didn't have to do all that. But anyway, yeah, JYP's just been fucking it up lately, and he's going to make it to where he's going to erode the value of JYP as a label, and then when the time comes where he needs to sell, they're not going to be able to do it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, JYP, I think that when he stopped being as hands-on a record label head as he used to be, that's kind of when things fell apart. And, you know, sometimes that's what happens. But yeah, JYP, I see things going downhill for them if Twice doesn't come back together. SM needs to debut another girl group. Twice is overworked. Twice is super overworked. So JYP, he needs to get his shit together. He needs to fire a ton of people. He needs to sit down with every group on his label and have a true heart-to-heart with them and figure out what he can do to turn his ship around. I think SM needs another girl group. I know you're thinking to yourself, but girl, didn't you just talk about the latest girl group to debut on SM? Yes, we did just talk about them. But let's be very clear about something. aespa is made to take over for Red Velvet. I know. There's some of us in this room who are like, what do you mean take over for Red Velvet? Red Velvet is still completely valid. I hear you. I see you. We are one. However, I firmly believe that SM is looking at Red Velvet ever since Wendy's injury, and they've decided we need another Red Velvet. And I think they see aespa being that. But SM created Girls' Generation. SM knows how to do a big group. SM needs another big girl group. They've got to have it. They've got to do it. And so I'm waiting to see if SM is going to take 2 years to do this, or if they're going to do it in the next year. But it was always the plan that like NCT is the boy big group, and they were going to have a girl big group. I don't believe that they're going to add members to aespa. I think that would be foolish to add members to aespa at this point. But I think that big girl group that SM is thinking about happening, I think that's on its way. And I personally cannot wait for that to happen. Didn't they also sort of ruin Girls' Generation? I'm not sure how long you've been a fan of Girls' Generation, Jordan, but I would say this. I don't think that Girls' Generation was ruined by SM. I think SM got to the point that they couldn't control Girls' Generation anymore. And when that point came, SM lost interest. Also, let's not beat around the bush here. Sexism, 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 sexism. Jessica wanting to do her own thing with her dumpster fire of a boyfriend, SM was like, you can go ahead and get the fuck on. But then when Tiffany had her whole flag controversy and people didn't want to see Tiffany anymore, and then they were trying solos with Sooyoung and people really didn't like it that much, they said, okay, looking at this from a pure money standpoint, who is it worth it to us to keep? And then that's exactly what they did. They let some of the girls go who said, we don't want to stay with SM anymore. They worked hard to keep Taeyeon. They offered her probably a golden parachute of a contract. And they just decided that at this point in the game, Girls' Generation are no longer girls, they're grown-ass women. Let's cut our losses and just operate with the pieces that we still have. And so we got a little bit of OGG, and we've gotten multiple Taeyeon releases because that is who SM said is worth it to us to continue to promote. It's just a fact. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean about it at all. But I mean, Korea likes their girl groups to be girls. And when I say girls, I'm not talking about gender identity. I'm talking about age-wise. Korea likes their girl groups to be in their mid to late teens, early 20s. They don't want to see 30-year-old women dancing together. So, yeah, SM didn't necessarily ruin Girls' Generation. It's more like they saw the writing on the wall, they figured the girls are getting older, and they just let things kind of naturally fall apart. And then with Red Velvet, same thing. Red Velvet debuted members that were considerably older than what you would normally debut girl groups at. Like, I want to say most of the members of Red Velvet were in and around their 20s when the group debuted. And that's not typical for girl groups. So, yeah, I think that when it comes to Girls' Generation, let's see too. I think when it comes to Girls' Generation, it was them aging out. I think what's happening with Red Velvet is that Red Velvet is aging out. Red Velvet is aging out tremendously. And so the next step is another girl group and another big one. I'm surprised that Sunny, Yuri, and Hyoyeon stayed with SM. I expected them to leave because of how they were promoted. Hyoyeon stayed with SM because there's literally nowhere for her to go. Like, I'm not even saying that to be shady to her, but let me ask you a real and sincere question. Who would sign Hyoyeon to their music label? Sunny stayed because Isuman is her fucking uncle. Yuri said, I act. So I don't have any reason to leave. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they stayed because why wouldn't they? And there's a couple of girls who I'm surprised that they left. Sooyoung especially, I'm surprised that she left. When I really think that she could have stayed. She could have stayed because she's pretty. She could have stayed. But yeah, not surprised that those girls stayed. Let's see here. I can't believe we don't have a Seulgi solo yet. I am surprised too. I really like Seulgi and Irene's project. I think that Naughty deserved more than what it got. I'm still bitter about that to today. I feel like Naughty was that girl and people paid her dust, and that's not fair. But yeah, Seulgi, I'm surprised we haven't gotten a solo from her, but you know, if we're gonna do Seulgi solo, she needs the right people. I don't think that Seulgi solo should sound like the Irene Seulgi project. I think it's got to sound like something totally different. I think if Seulgi comes out with a solo, it would have to be something completely stunning and different. I'm thinking it definitely has to be kind of more of a K R&B direction. Um, but also, I could see Solgi doing kind of an IU style project. And when I say IU style project, yeah, yeah, something kind of IU esque, something kind of like Palette, maybe. Okay, imagine a Sulgi song with Zion T as a feature, or better yet, Taemin featuring. Well, I mean, she featured on a Taemin song, she featured on a Zion T song, so of course we can all hear that. But more than that, I want to see Sulgi if she has a debut. I want to see a Sulgi project with a title track done by the Underdogs, because the Underdogs did Bad Boy, the Underdogs did Kingdom Come. Um, so I really feel like they would be great to do a title track for her. I'd like to see her work with London Noise, because I think that London Noise is always a good feature for her. I'd love to see her work with Gray for a song, because Gray does a really good job. Stereotypes. I keep saying the Underdogs, it's the Stereotypes. Thank you for correcting me, Jessica. So the Stereotypes, I'd like to see with Selgi for a title track. I'd like to see her do a song with Gray, just because Gray does really good songs with the ladies. Gray, I don't know what's in, I don't know what he does, but for some reason, Gray works really well with ladies. I'd like to see him do a song for Solgi. I'd like to see Cold write a song for Solgi, because Cold wrote a couple of songs for Baekhyun for his projects, and those were always really good songs. So I'd like to see him do something with Solgi. Um, she could work with Zion T. I feel like his writing style would work really well for her. She could ask Joy to call in a favor and like, Joy, can you get your boyfriend to feature on a song for me? That'd be cute. Um, London Noise, I think I already mentioned. Maybe give Junie a call. Hmm. Yeah, I could see all kinds of possibilities for her. But I definitely want it to be kind of more of an R&B style thing, but I also want her to have like a really catchy song. Like whatever song she chooses, it needs to have like a really strong hook. Because I think that's the thing, is that Monster was okay, but I don't think the hook was strong enough. Naughty was cool, but the hook was in the very beginning of the song. The chorus itself really wasn't that much of a hook. So yeah, if I was gonna do something for Solgi, I'd make it something that has a really fun key dance and that has a really strong chorus hook. I would put the chorus hook over anything. All right. Yes, Hyorin is supposed to be coming back. She postponed her comeback, but it should be coming soon. I'm very excited. Her album did good with the majority of R&B sides, also a dancey sounding title track. I agree. Yeah, Hyorin. I really want somebody to rescue Hyorin. Hyorin is my bias in Sistar. Always has been. Since the very first time I ever saw Sistar, I'm like, that bitch right there is a star. Um, but I don't think that Bride is working out for her. I think that she is working herself into a tizzy, trying to get things to work. She even did that little summer song with Dassum to try to get more people to pay attention to her, but it's just not happening. She needs somebody, and I'm hoping that when Zico gets out the military, that he will sign Hyorin. Now, he did sell his record label to Hybe. I bet you all forgot about that. I almost did. Zico did sell his record label to Hybe, but I think they're still letting him choose who gets signed to that sub label. I would love to see him get Hyorin signed to his label. And once he does that, I want them to rework her completely. Like, I want them to rework her look. I want them to bring in some new songwriters. I want them to really just like love on her. And I think this is this is where the direction change would be. I want Hyolyn to do like an Adele style album. Like, I want it to be like super confessional, super kind of introspective. You can still have like very catchy stuff, but I think she needs to have an album where she is more focused on her voice rather than like her dancing and, trying to reclaim the Summer Queen title. I think she needs to do something totally different. And I think that all the guys in the industry that she's like good friends with, she start calling in every duet partner she can handle and start making them come in there and do stuff with her. I think Zico ought to write her a title track that is in a similar vein of I Am You, You Are Me, or give her a very similar vibe to any song and then push her out there. Push her out there. And let's see what flies. That's what I see for Hyolyn if I was going to redo her career. I think that would be the move. Zico's almost out the military, isn't he? If he's almost out, right? Like, he's only got like a handful of months. I was in some old Sister songs. I would love more songs like Shady Girl or Oh Baby, right? Zico's almost out the military. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because while he's been in the military, he can't make money while he's in the military. So I think he's been prevented from doing a lot of the collaborations that he wants to do. And when he gets out, I cannot wait to see what he produces. Zico is a trash can. Like, let's just be fair here. I cannot address him without addressing his misdeeds. Zico is a trash can, but he is such a talented trash can that I'm really excited to see what he does. Like, he hasn't slept with children, so I feel okay still supporting his efforts. If he pulled an R. Kelly, I would not. But yeah, Zico's a trash can. I cannot wait to see what he does as a trash can. What kind of beautiful, delicious garbage he'll spit out at us. Great question here. Are you looking forward to any debuts in 2022 like JYP-N or Trainee A? It's a great question. I look forward to both. JYP just recently debuted a new rock band and they had a song called like Happy Death Day or something. The shit was trash. I didn't like it. I don't know anybody who does. Sorry about it. But JYP had all of us buy that fucking blind package. So that group is supposed to be coming. I can't wait to find out what the fuck they do. Like, seriously. I have been counting the months down. I can't wait to find out what this group sounds like. So, yes, super duper excited about that. Trainee A, I'm excited about because it's already determined at this point. I'm never going to get BTS back. I've debated it in my mind. I've talked about it on multiple live streams, but we're just at the point now where I'm always going to be in love with Namjoon. He's always going to have my heart and he's always going to be my bias. I'm always going to enjoy reading BTS fan fiction because it's a genre of literature I've come to enjoy, but in terms of the sound that BTS cultivated that made me enjoy them, that's done. That's just never going to happen. But Trainee A is giving me the feels. They're giving me the feels, and I just want to love on them. I have adored TXT. You know how sometimes you can get so caught up in being anti-hype that you miss a good thing? Has that ever happened to you where like people hyped up something so much that you were like, I'm just not going to listen to it out of principle? Like, I know a lot of people when it came to Squid Games, they're like, I'm not going to watch Squid Games because too many people talk about Squid Game and it can't be as good as everybody's saying. And then you watch it and you're like, actually, this shit is amazing. TXT was that for me. When TXT first came out, I'm like, I don't see it for them. This ain't my style. I just don't feel it. Now, I love TXT. And so, in order to avoid making that same mistake, I can't wait for Trainee A. Yeah, I cannot wait because I feel like they're going to give me that. Like TXT, if I had to describe TXT and what TXT does for me, one of my favorite Big Bang songs of all time is Love Song. I hate this love song. I hate this love song. You've heard that song before, right? By Big Bang. TXT for me is like that, where it's like, it's pop music, but it's just like so well done pop that you can't help but stand. You just can't help but love it because it's just like, even though it's not my wheelhouse of like R&B, which is what I normally gravitate to, it's just such well done pop music that I can't deny its appeal and its effect. Trainee A, on the other hand, sounds like they're going to be in my R&B hip hop wheelhouse. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I I can't wait. Uh I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I mean, so one of the things that I haven't done yet, but I've been trying to psych myself up to do is I'm I'm psyching myself up to sell my BTS photo card collection. I don't know how and when I'm going to do it, but I've just decided that, for me, even though I love RM with the depths of my being, and I've loved him for a really long time, collecting BTS memorabilia, photo cards, stuff like that, it just doesn't, it has no appeal to me. Like, Butter's been out now for quite a while. I still haven't even attempted to collect Namjoon's cards. I haven't attempted to collect his cards for their Japanese stuff recently. I just really, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Like, I think I'm still gonna probably buy albums because every once in a while something will happen that will make me really happy and I'll be like, "Yay, I'm so excited because this thing happened." But for the most part, I found B to be very disappointing. I found 7, Map of the Soul, to be disappointing. My Universe, Permission to Dance. I will never shit on the BTS that I was first introduced to. I will never say that BTS has bad music because their early catalog will always be a part of them. I don't blame BTS or their label for going in the direction they're going in because the goal is to attract as many people as possible into purchasing the merchandise, the music, the McDonald's meal, the Louis Vuitton collaborations, all of that. I don't fault them for deciding to choose capitalism. I really don't. But I've had to accept for myself that that is not what I like. It's not what I want. And if BTS were anybody else on the planet releasing the music that they've been releasing, I would never buy it. So if I would never buy it, if BTS was anybody else on the planet, then why am I buying it now? Why am I buying it now? So I've got some things I need to sell. I've got some things I need to get rid of. I've got some things I need to do, but I think the first step is I need to get rid of the photo cards because I don't really look at them. I have stopped collecting them. It's just, it's not for me. But like, the reason I keep sighing is because I don't do this in a lighthearted way. Like it actually hurts my feelings that we're at this point. Like I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm not even saying this because I hate them. I'm saying this because I'm actually sad. I actually really miss looking forward to BTS. The last BTS project that I really, really loved. Um Maybe Persona? Maybe? I think. I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm trying to think now. I don't even know. I think maybe Persona was the last. Maybe. You are never telling Nina. You Nina got it. She said, ever since Ed Sheeran put his hands on them, it hasn't been the same for me. Oh man. Yeah, like the last BTS song that I devoured, that I remember listening to it and thinking, like, this is that bitch, this is the one, was Home. Home was the last BTS song that I heard that I was like, that's my shit right there. That's me. That's me. If nothing else on this album is me, that right there, that's me. And that's been since pre-pandemic. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to be slowly divesting from them. It doesn't make me happy to do this though. Like, it does make me sad. I think, yeah, it does make me sad. Because I spent a lot of money on BTS. Hell, I bought two of that B album. I gave one to a friend, but I bought two of that album, and that one was $50. So like, yeah, am I sad? Fuck yeah, I'm sad. Fuck yeah, I'm sad. But yeah. Hmm. At least I've got Shiny. For me, it was Idol era. Yeah. Like, I, is it Tear? Is Tear the album? Is Tear the album with Love Maze? If Tear is the album with Love Maze, that's the last project that I listened to that I was like, I like the majority of the songs here. Yeah. So Tear was the last, and I went to the concert after that album. I went to Fort Worth. When they came to Fort Worth, I went to that. Tear was the last album where there was like a good chunk of songs where I was like, I like all of these songs right here. And that's been it. Hmm. And the thing is, like, Tear has a trifecta. Thank you! Oh my gosh! Jay, are we the same person? Jay, are we the same person? Oh my gosh. Jay, listen. Listen, Jay. Listen. You literally, I feel like Lauryn Hill right now. You're strumming my pain with your fingers. You're singing my life with your words. You are killing me softly with your song. That three, that little block right there, untouchable. Untouchable. Wow. Wow. They don't make them like that no more. You right, Sarah. They don't make them like that no more. Oh, somebody asked a really great question, and I feel like I'm not allowed to answer this question, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Uh, Somebody asked what happened to Monster X. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I stopped listening to Monster X before Wonho left. And I feel horrible about this because Carolyn, that is her bias group. That is, at this point, that's practically her personality. Like, that's how much she loves them. And no shade to her at all. I think Carolyn is an amazing human being. I've never met her in person, but she's always been super nice to me over the years. She's always been super supportive of me. I will never say a single bad thing about Juan Haid. Ever, ever, ever. But I really kind of stopped watching her videos because a lot of her content is about Monsta X, Golden Child, and those are just groups that I don't really listen to, have anything to do with. Monsta X in particular, I'm just gonna say it right now, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I wish I did. I really do. I bought a copy of Monsta X's debut English album, the one that they sold at Target. I did buy that to be supportive. Um, I think the last Monsta X album that I listened to all the way through, ooh, oh my gosh, I feel so ashamed to say this. Shine Forever. Shine Forever was the last Monsta X album I listened to all the way through. You guys, I want to love Monsta X. Everything in my Shendo says that I should love them. I feel like they should be my type. I just can't do it. And like Wonho solo stuff, I appreciate Wonho on a very deep aesthetic level. Like he's basically a movable sculpture at this point. That man's body is unreal. It doesn't hurt that like he stays half naked as well. But music wise, there's just not enough there. Wonho is very much kind of like Asomi in terms of I feel like he does best in a group setting. Uh yeah, I want to love them and I can't get there and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. When this last comeback came out, I didn't listen to any of it. I still haven't listened to any of it. Um but I want to love them. I really really do. Uh but it's been hard to make the leap. But I still check up on Wonho all the time because, again, like I said, on a purely aesthetic level, I'm very interested in every move that he makes. When Wonho decided to let a ball sack hang out on a B Live, I was very into that. I thought that that was a brave artistic move on his part, and I'm willing to support him if he decides to re-release that particular artistic moment. But yeah, can't say that I follow the group. So sorry about that. And I never talk about them on my channel. You might have noticed I never talk about them on my channel. But yeah, I really wish I could love Monsta X because I feel like I should. Also because like when Juhani, I hope I'm saying his name right. When Juhani decided to go on Produce, he was so funny. He was so funny, like Baksu. He was so funny. And so like personality wise, I should be enjoying Monsta X, but I just haven't, and I'm sorry. I wish I could. You know, but we all have our things. There are people that I follow that other people are like, why do you even check up on them? Listen, just the other day, I was in my car listening to Too Big. That's a name that I don't even know if anybody in the room recognizes, but Too Big, there was a moment there where that was my fucking group. So, you know, I can't criticize and be like, if I don't like it, then it's not valuable. I would never say that because literally we all have our own taste. We all have like that one group that nobody talks about. But yeah, they are the group that I really wish if I could pick 5 groups to be fans of that I don't currently listen to and haven't chosen to follow more. I wish that I could be a fan of Monsta X. I wish that I could get into Stray Kids. Even though I will say I kind of pay more attention to Stray Kids than I do Monsta X just because every once in a while somebody will play something from Stray Kids and I'll be like, oh, I never heard that before. That's cute. I wish that I could get more into the boys because again, if personalities were to count, I think me and the boys could be the best of friends because I really liked them on Kingdom. They just seemed like a good time, but it didn't work out for me. Girl groups. If I could get into, I wish I could get into After School. I feel like everybody's really loving on After School right now, and they're just a group that I can't really get into. And Brave Girls. A lot of people like Brave Girls a lot, and I have such a hard time getting into Brave Girls. Everybody talked about how great Roland was, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I was glad that it gave them a second go round. I'm glad that they got a career resurgence, but in terms of actually listening to Brave Girls, it wasn't for me. Lovelyz was never a group that I really listened to because when Lovelyz debuted, it was during that time that like GFriend was still super popular and they were still in their like schoolgirl phase, and Lovelyz was really big into the schoolgirl phase, and that's just never really been my signature style of music to listen to. So me and Lovelyz, we never really kind of hit it off like that. Speaking of listening to old music, Hot Times came on my playlist the other day and I lost. Woo! Hot Times? Wow. Okay. You must have a really deep playlist because how the hell did that end up on your playlist? Wow. Even though, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was in the car probably about a month ago and Before You Go came on, and I almost body rolled my way into an accident in the car by myself. Just like, oh, girl, it was bad. It was bad. Will you support Vivis? I don't know who Vivis is, so I can't say I'll support him because I don't know who they are. Oh, also, that same person that asked me if I'll support Vivis, they said that Trudy got married. Good for Trudy. Glad to see that somebody was able to look past the brown face and figure out who she was, because I still don't know who the fuck Trudy is. Like, she never stopped doing brown face. She never stopped blackfishing. Even after everyone called her out on it, it was like, girl, you had us out here thinking you were mixed because you were perming your hair and tanning, and you're actually just full on Korean. Like, she never freaking stopped. And because she never freaking stopped, I'm sorry, I don't know who Trudy is. I wonder if her husband knows who she is. Like, when she wakes up in the morning before she's put on her shellacking of brown, does he even know what skin color she is? Like, seriously. Her husband is a brave fucking man, because I don't know, like, every day does he wake up to a new bitch. Like, every day does he wake up to, I'm gonna be Taiwanese. Next week, I might give you a little Latin flavor. Like, seriously. How does her husband know who he married? Does she have like a menu at the house and he just flips through and he's like, okay, this week I'd like to eat Chinese. Next week, I think I'd like to go ahead and do maybe French food. And she's like, got you. So you said this week you want me to be wearing a fucking gown, and then next week you want me to be wearing a beret. Like, seriously, her husband is married to every bitch on the block at this point, because who is she? Who is Trudy? Does she even fucking know? She's got a Rolodex of personalities and looks that she pulls out, and her husband just picks which one he wants. They gotta live in a big house because she's gotta have a closet to fit all of her personalities into. Like, seriously, who the fuck is Trudy? I know her husband must be annoyed. Because I bet sometimes, like, she'll slip into certain personalities that he likes, and then she'll get sick and tired of it, and she'll switch over, like, but wait, I like that last bitch. Invite her back in. So good luck to him. Good luck to that man. Should Unpretty Rap Star return? I would love to see Unpretty Rap Star again. I think Unpretty Rap Star was a great show. Trudy aside, Unpretty Rap Star was a great show. And out of all of the shows that have winners, I feel like Unpretty Rap Star and Show Me the Money are the only shows who consistently had participants who went on to see great success in the music industry. I mean, love it or hate it or be indifferent, Jessie came from Unpretty Rap Star. That says Hayes came from Unpretty Rap Star. Like, seriously, whether you like it or not, Unpretty Rap Star produced actual artists. Same thing with Show Me the Money. Show Me the Money, season after season, at least one person manages to blow the fuck up. So, do I think that Unpretty Rap Star should come back? Absolutely. Especially because without Unpretty Rap Star, any women who wanted to be on a kind of rap pop competition show have been forced to be on, like, either Show Me the Money or like High School Rapper, and the fucking judges are always a pack of men and they never really want to take a girl that far. Like they'll let her go to a certain point and then they'll fucking drop her off. And so you don't get girls winning you don't get girls winning Show Me the Money. They have an actual chance to win on Unpretty Rap Star, but Show Me the Money, the girls don't have a chance. And because they don't have a chance, yeah, I'd love to see Unpretty Rap Star come back. That way, more women would have a chance to show their skills instead of being in there just to prove that Unpretty Rap Star is progressive. Yeah, second place. They're not winning. At least on Unpretty Rap Star, you know that the winner's going to be a girl. You may not know who that girl is, Trudy, but it's still going to be a girl. So, yeah, I'd love to see Unpretty Rap Star come back. I think that'd be amazing. That'd be really nice. But, low-key, quiet as it's kept, I kind of want Produce to come back. I know it's bad. Shame on me. Especially because in these COVID times, you can't even have a show like Produce anymore. Like, let's be real. You cannot have a show like Produce right now in Korea because, again, we're still dealing with the pandemic. We're still dealing with, the Omicron variant now. You can't really do a show like that. But I kind of miss Produce. What about that new girl group show? Not sure. There was a new girl group show that came out over the summer. Didn't really check for it. China has been doing Produce regardless. They said all that shit that happened in Korea, that ain't got shit to do with us. I am going ahead and having that anyway. Yeah, Girls Planet. China said, we're still doing that. We're still doing that. That happened in Korea had nothing to do with us. We're still doing that. But yeah, I kind of miss Produce. It was a good watch. It was a good time. It brought the family together. We had a great time. Especially because, like, that last season of Produce 2, Produce X, it was such garbage. It was the fucking worst. I agree, 10. X1, they had a lot of potential, but it was rigged to the point of nonsensical. Like, it's one thing to be like, I got 2 people I'd really like to see make it to the end. By the time we got to Produce X, it was like, okay, this doesn't even look a shade of fair. There's no fucking way. As much as people on the internet would talk about who their favorites are and would talk about how to vote and everything else, to have some of the people who didn't make the top group get bottomed out, it was like, oh, this is a lie. This is a fucking lie. So, yeah, when I think about that all the time, like how if they hadn't been so fucking greedy, we could still be having Produce now. We could still be having, Produce 48. Produce 48 hurt my feelings because there were at least 3 girls who deserved better. There were at least 3 girls who it was obvious that they got shafted. And I'm still not over that. Like, I couldn't enjoy the group that came out of Produce 48 because I was boycotting on principle. I was so mad. No, I haven't listened to IVE yet. I know that IVE is like big deal because the leader, well, not the leader, but like the number 1 from Produce 48 is in that group. But yeah, I haven't listened to them yet. Where is Ladies Code? I don't know, To the Wind, because their last album on their label was, I want to say, pre-pandemic, and then they kind of broke up. I know Ashley does that podcast with all those other Korean American K-pop starry people. Like, I think it's her and Big Matthew and Eric Nam and Jay from Day 6 and maybe another person whose name is escaping me now. But they've got like a whole podcast network, and I think that's what she's doing. Not sure what the other 2 are doing, though. Peniel, that's right, Peniel. Okay, Eric Nam is so fake. We've talked about this before on the channel. Everybody knows that I do not support Eric Nam. at all in any way, shape, or form. And me not supporting Eric Nam is not because he personally wronged me. It's just that like that whole Eric Nam Amber friendship and like that kind of we're just so happy and everything's okay and it's so fun. I'll put it to you like this. I feel like Eric Nam grew up in the United States with this kind of ever present idea that as a Korean American man, you were considered kind of like the ideal minority. And also, being Korean American and going over to Korea, he had to present his best face because he was struggling for acceptance in Korea. And he also knew that he wasn't going to make money in mainstream America. And so he spent his entire career cultivating a very kind of harmless, um, inoffensive stereotype to get the most people feel like he's the safest in order to get the most job opportunities. Like Eric Nam literally went from being kind of an aspiring singer to being kind of more of a well-known TV presenter, interviewer, spokesperson type of person. And in doing so, because he wanted to make sure he kept every opportunity available, he's made sure he's as inoffensive as possible to the point that he has no personality anymore. And I've heard, allegedly, that he has a lot of personality behind the scenes, but that, again, if he was to display his full personality, that it wouldn't work in his favor. And I can't stand people who are that blatantly inauthentic. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it. I don't support it. It's not for me. I feel the same way about Amber. Amber, she's tried to be spicy over the years to try to like be like, oh, I know that people think they know me, but they don't really know me. I can be a bad girl sometimes. Amber's fucking fake as shit. But she's not even as successful as Eric Nam at being fake. Like, Amber very clearly is like nice nasty. Very much so. But she's afraid because she's trying to figure out where her next paycheck is coming from. So she's not going to rock the boat too much because she's going to go wherever the paycheck takes her. The paycheck took her to China not that long ago, so that's where she went. And so until her complete bag is secured or until there's no more paychecks to be had in entertainment, you're never going to know who Amber really is. And it's just really hard to root for somebody like that. Really hard. Henry, I don't root for at all because Henry has showed his personality very much so on very many shows, and Henry comes across as a little bit of an asshole. So, tis what tis. Let's see. One is supposed to have a reunion. Oh, Alex will be excited about that. He likes 101 quite a bit. 101, I didn't start watching Produce until after 101 debuted, so I really wasn't as into 101 as other people were because, again, I didn't follow Produce at that point. My first full season of Produce was 48. But 101 did have that energetic song. Really like that song, so good on them. I hope things happen well for them. I feel like no one from 101 has really done that well. Like, I feel like for the first year after 101 broke up, everybody did okay. Kang Daniel for me really is the only standout from 101. And I didn't start liking Kang Daniel because of 101. I actually started liking him after he started dating Jiko from Twice. Then I was like, oh shit, okay, he's a real one. And that was around the time he debuted, but still, like, I was liking the fact that he was like, yeah, I'm dating, fuck you. But then as he started to kind of like delve deeper into his R&B bag, I'm like, oh, okay, I like this music. You have great taste. I'm into it. But Kang Daniel really has been like the only one from 101 that I've been like, that guy. that guy's nice. Even though I have heard a couple of songs from Park Ji-hoon, and I like him, so I guess that's a thing. But yeah, 101 just never really was my cup of tea. I wish it was, though. I really wish it was, because then I could have been into the hype like everybody else. Instead, I had X1. Speaking of X1, has everyone heard Woods' Only Lovers? It's actually a really good mini. I highly recommend it. I wasn't as big a fan of Oops. I thought Oops was kind of, actually, to be honest, both Equal and Oops were kind of bad. Let's just be honest. Woods was so good before Produce. It's just weird. It's weird. Like, it feels weird to say this. Like, Woods was so good before he went on Produce. Then he went on Produce and released two kind of like shitty projects. And then I guess people were like, well, I'm not really into him anymore. And then he released a great project. And I'm like, why did you do it like this? Why didn't you like just keep on with the stuff you were doing before Produce? So it was weird. Not gonna lie, after everything Woods has gone through, I would have given up. I agree. It's gotta be weird for him because, first of all, he was with a boy band who didn't do that great. Like, other than his group really didn't make a big splash in K-pop, right? But then one of his band members goes on to be one of the biggest artists in China. One of the biggest artists in the biggest country. That's got to hurt. That's got to hurt. And then Woods starts to pick up a little steam as being kind of like a little sleeper hit in the R&B community, goes on Produce, makes it to the end, makes it to the final group, and then his season of all the seasons is the season that everything fucking falls apart. I know Woods is like, I'm about to give up on this bullshit. I'm really about to take my ass home. So like, I support Woods just because like he has been through a lot. Could you imagine being in a group with somebody and the group is struggling, and the minute the group decides to like kind of go their separate ways and pursue their interests, the motherfucker you were day and night friends with, hanging out with all the time, becomes one of the biggest celebrities in the world. In the world. That's insane. That's insane. Cause Wang Yibo really is that dude in China. Like, everything he fucking touches turns to platinum. Not even gold, turns to platinum. Ever since the Untamed, well, even before the Untamed, because he's on like a variety show and then he does like a dance show. Even before the Untamed, he was doing really well. Like, he was doing super duper good. After the Untamed, that man is literally printing money. Literally printing money. He could do anything. He could do anything. Every endorsement is his. Every endorsement is his. And that's gotta feel fucking weird. I wonder if Wood speaks Chinese. Because maybe he can call in a favor from his old friend. And, you know, maybe they could collab on a single or something. Because that'd be a good look. That'd be a great look. But yeah, man. Yibo he's doing it. He's doing it big. He's doing it real big. And I'm proud of him because it's so easy to like go home with your tail tucked between your legs and just not ever see anything happen for you. And he turned that ship completely around. And he did it at the right time too. Like, timing is everything. People don't realize this. Timing is everything. Like, BL has always been around forever and a day. But being in the Untamed at a time when BL was like really getting that social media push, he could not have picked a better time to get involved with the industry. And then that just on top of all of his other projects, man. What great, brilliant luck for him. I just hope that when China starts to enforce their be manly policies, that it doesn't become a thing where he's affected by that. Because even though, like someone said in the comments, he is a race car driver, China is trying to eliminate pretty boys. Like they've got this whole thing now where they're like, we don't want pretty boys anymore. We want men to be manly. And they're kind of pushing back against kind of the K idol aesthetic, right? And so Yibo is very pretty. Like I'm not saying that as a critique or as a negative. Like he's got beautiful bone structure. He has a very delicate face. He has resting bitch face, like for real, for real. But he's like very pretty, very pretty. And he's got like a dancer's body, so he's kind of thin, kind of he's got a dancer's body. He looks like a teenager. Because of that, I could see where there would be a lot of critique against him for not meeting the manly image. So I'm hoping that maybe because he rides motorcycles and does like skateboarding and all that kind of stuff, that they'll look at that and be like, oh no, he's super manly. He still does manly things. Because, yeah, I could see that being a problem for him if they start like pushing that whole machismo thing. Thoughts on Lay? Is he an EXO? Lay is still technically a part of EXO, but in terms of will he promote with them again? I mean, EXO barely promotes with themselves anymore. I would be interested to see what happens with both Sehun and Chanyeol's contracts when they get out the military. I'd be very interested to see. Because Sehun, I feel like, doesn't have any interest in being a part of EXO anymore. I think he just does it because it's a job. But I think in terms of being an idol, he's over it. Chanyeol, I still am not sure what the deal is with him and why people hate him so much. But I could see him deciding that he doesn't want any parts of SM anymore either after all this. Chen, he might get pushed out the group the same way Sungmin got pushed out of Super Junior. I mean, even though he has had 2 kids and Korea is really big on people having big families, there is a very good chance that they're still not going to want anything to do with Chen. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chen doesn't come back. When Sehun finally goes to the military, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back to EXO. Chanyeol, when he gets out of the military, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back to EXO. Those are the 3 that I see leaving the group. I feel like Schumann doesn't really care. Like he's like, it doesn't hurt me none to be in this group. It doesn't affect me really at all, so I'm gonna stay around. Dio, if he leaves EXO, it is because he decides to pursue acting full time. Like if he leaves, it's not because SM's not throwing cash at him, because like of the members of EXO that if SM had to decide who to re-sign at a renewal, Kai's got an automatic re-sign, Dio's got an automatic re-sign, Baekhyun's got an automatic re-sign. Those 3 have automatic re-signs. They're not going nowhere anytime soon as long as SM has anything to do with it. The rest of the group, though, either or, could not. And I feel like once Lay's contract period with SM is over, he is gone. Like really gone. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see after all of the military is said and done what happens. Be interesting. Anyway, I've been talking now for almost 2 hours. I'm sorry. I'm tired. My mouth is dry. But I wanted to get on here because Minho had his birthday. Also, I feel terrible and shitty because I didn't upload anything for International Unboxing Day, and I said I would. I've done International Unboxing Day every year for like almost 5 years now, so I feel really shitty that I did not do it this year, and I'm so sorry about that, but life sometimes gets in the way, and it just got in the way, so that sucks, but I'm sorry. But anyway, I hope that the rest of you remembered that there was an International Unboxing Day. If you haven't, just go over to Tina's channel and say hi, Tina Davidson. Just let her know you were thinking of her. And that's it. Thank you guys for joining me. This has been a really good time. If I was going to leave you guys with something pleasant to end your day with, I will leave you with this. There is this TikTok of this dog that laughs. That's the only way I can describe it. It's an entire channel of this person's laughing dog. And they do like these voiceovers. Like they'll take like skits or snippets from movies and they'll play the sound and it'll basically be their dog like laughing with their eyes closed. And it brings me tremendous joy every single time that dog shows up on my For You page, because sometimes we just need to be completely away from humanity for a minute. Like sometimes people hurt us or people kind of like vex us or they get our temperatures up, whatever else. And even dealing with any other person is just too much for us. So I highly recommend finding an animal channel you really like, or finding an outdoor channel that you really like where they show a lot of landscapes, but just find some way to sometimes take a break from humanity. And I promise you, it'll do you a world of good and it'll make you feel a lot better when you decide to come back to humanity. So that was my tip for the day. Talk to you later. Bye.